episode.
Welcome to Life Under the Laundry Pile, airing it all out one conversation at a time.
Welcome back. This is episode 5, what I would tell my 25-year-old self. Just a quick reminder before we start, you can find us on Facebook and Instagram at Life Under the Laundry Pile. Twitter is at Life_the Laundry, and we also have a website. It's just called Laundry Pile Podcast. Well, it's actually www.laundrypilepodcast.wordpress.com. We'll get fancy one day.
Right. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
I think I'm still tired from this weekend. I feel like a zombie.
What did we do that was so... Well, okay. Don't answer that. But I'm exhausted.
Yeah, me too.
So we went to San Antonio this weekend with a couple of other ladies from PTA for Launch 2016, which is a leadership for PTA conference.
Yes.
So, yeah, that was interesting.
It was. It was fun.
Right.
It was fun. It was tiring. It was. I don't know. Probably the fact that we didn't eat dinner until like 10:30.
Yeah.
That first night, was it the first night that we didn't eat so late? Yes, it was.
Yes.
And we all got up the next day saying we didn't sleep a wink. Nobody slept. And then we had to be at the conference at 8 o'clock that morning. That was not fun.
I don't know who plans that stuff out, but the first session on Saturday started at 8 o'clock. So you have all these, mostly moms, but some men too, are coming in for the weekend, and you're asking them to wake up at,
we encountered several people who actually drove. You know, the two women that came in, that they got up at 3 a.m. to drive.
Right.
From like Plano, and I forget where the other lady
the other one
was
from. She was near Dallas as well.
Like that. Yeah, Flower Mound. No,
right. No, my sister lives in Flower Mound. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember where it was, but I thought that was insane. But I guess if those women work during the week,
right,
and they want to attend,
the distance between there and San Antonio is quite a bit less than what it is for us to drive it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but it was real nice.
So yeah, we drove over there, and I'm trying to think of what we did. We checked into the hotel, which was a very nice hotel.
Yes, it had enormous rooms. Yeah. Holy cow!
We were a little concerned because it was 5 women, and we're like, we didn't know going over there what the situation was going to be. If it was going to be literally 4 women in a little. Not little,
2
but
double beds.
A normal, like when you walk in. Luckily, it was more of a suite, so we had actually like 2 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms.
Yeah, that's probably nice the biggest hotel room I've ever been in my life.
I was telling Matt that bedroom that hotel room was the size of our first. English can be so hard. That hotel room was the size of our first apartment. So,
and I think that's what I said when I came down the hall one time. Yeah. The hall's so long, and I remember when I came out of the bedroom one time, I thought, wow, this is as big as our first apartment.
Right.
I think our first apartment was like 500 square feet, maybe. And yeah, definitely, because those bedrooms were enormous in that hotel room. But it was really nice, and especially being on the Riverwalk. San Antonio's really pretty on the Riverwalk.
And
really hot.
Heather and I were lucky because our bedroom, we could see the river.
If you stood on your tippy toes and you looked over the ledge.
Some of us had to stand on our tippy toes.
Some of us were short.
Yeah.
Short
Some of us
people.
did just fine standing on our regular 2 feet. So we had a creepy bird outside our window.
That white pigeon, dove, whatever it was. I guess it was a dove.
I think it was a dove, but I prefer calling it a ghost pigeon.
Yeah. It's like someone let it go from like their wedding, and it just decided, I'm living here.
Screw you. I'm not going back to work.
Yeah.
Right.
It's really funny.
Well, and the funny thing was, like, we were having breakfast that next morning, we're sitting there, and you just happen to mention, and I look over, and it comes flying towards a window, and I thought it was going to kill me.
Yeah.
I'm not big on birds, so...
He was there the last morning. He wanted to tell you goodbye before you left.
We had a moment. So... But we ate a large amount of food, a lot of Mexican food,
lots of margaritas.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, we did. It was pretty calm, sorta.
No, it was. I think we did really well. I mean, we made mature good life choices.
Yeah.
So
Except walking in that heat. The best decision was made when we used the Lyft.
Or Lyft. Sorry, not Uber, but Lyft. Yeah.
Up till that point, yeah, it's just hot.
And that was Saturday afternoon where we were just like, no, we're not doing it. And it's not like the walk was that bad from the hotel to the convention center. It was so hot.
It's just hot. I think it was 107. The heat index was like 107.
Yeah.
And it's hard. Living in the city like that, I can't imagine. But it's there's not a lot of breeze, and it's all that concrete. It was
hot.
I know. My husband asked, or my mom, someone asked, and I said, my ankle was killing me by the time we were done. Right. It was a lot of walking.
It was. So. And it didn't, not just back and forth from the convention, but we also walked to everywhere else, restaurants. And
yeah, you had to walk everywhere.
But it was very informational.
Yes.
And I got that gigantic pencil. So,
yes.
honestly.
And my kids fought all over the goodies that I brought. And, I have to say, I bragged about the guy that we watched, the motivational speaker.
He was amazing. And I can't...
Lloyd Backrack was his name.
Yes.
Yeah. That was his name. And so I was really impressed. He's a Paralympic who was born he was missing bones in his legs.
Right.
And so he turned out to be a gymnast for the Paralympics. He's really impressive.
Volleyball.
Yeah.
I think that's what he did for the Paralympics was volleyball. And then he did gymnastics. He did swimming. He did softball. Or is it baseball for guys? I don't track that kind of stuff.
I
think essentially the only sport he never really played was football was the only thing he just didn't do. Right. So, I mean, he really did.
He was impressive. It really was. And it's a shame we couldn't bring him to the school because the kids that's the kind of stories that kids remember. He was impressive.
He was. He did a really great job.
But yeah. So, it was exhausting. I'll say that.
I'm still not right.
No.
And I need a salad. Like I just feel like I
don't know how much Mexican and margaritas one person can handle, but I think I might have even hit my limit for Mexican food that over the weekend.
I'm not gonna go so far as to say I hit my limit, but I was pretty close.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm trying to think if there was anything else that really happened.
I don't think so. I mean, we stopped by Buc-ee's on the way and Buc-ee's on the way back.
Well, yeah, we're in Texas. What else are you supposed to do?
There were a lot of things that, probably, but I was just too exhausted to remember.
Right.
But
the kids were happy to see you, though, when you got back?
They were. They were. They had made I told you. I put it on my Facebook, but they had made me things. They had made popsicle stick bookmarks. Emma had printed out pictures of me with heart border around, like an 8x10
so
picture
it's like framed.
Of me. And no, she folded them so they could put them in their pocket and carry around with them while I was gone. She had packed herself a Mommy's Gone survival backpack. It had stuffed animals and things like that. And because apparently she cried for me at night while she was gone, while I was gone. And she actually ordered matching necklaces off of Amazon with her money, and I am wearing it. It's I love you to the moon and back. So it was super, super sweet. It's it's nice to go and get that I wouldn't say mommy time, but get that adult time.
Right.
But when you come home, I mean, I don't know about you, but I was glad to be home.
Right.
It's hard to travel nowadays. The older you get, the more set in your ways, and you just want to be home. You want to be in your own bed. You want your own pillow. You want, so.
You want to not be sharing a bed with Copper, who apparently snores.
Lightly. That's okay.
She keeps saying you snore, but lightly.
Lightly. It was. You're like the quietest snorer. Is that a word, snorer? Yeah. You're good. It's fine.
Good.
Yeah. It did not keep me awake. We had headphones. And Copper was so nice. She gave us all goodie bags. Way to make us look bad, you brown noser.
Well, just because hotels are noisy, and so I brought earplugs for everyone. Earplugs and nail files because
and hand sanitizer.
Because the city is gross.
My favorite gift out of the bag was the earplugs.
Yeah.
Because like I said, I sleep with sound machine. We all in my house sleep with a sound machine. Like I cannot. Since I had kids, just any noise outside of, I don't even know, just any noise, wakes me up. And I'm like, what? I don't know. I know I used to sleep without it. I know for a fact I did. But once I had kids, I became such a light sleeper.
I think, and to add on to that, when the kids were little, and the boys just within the last couple of months gave up their sound machine. Mm-hmm. But Maggie, for the longest time, really, I guess until last year as well, she always listened to the radio when she slept. And the boys had a sound machine in the room from the day that Jackie came from the hospital until just a few months ago, when Henry decided it was too creepy and scared him. Whatever, he'll do whatever he has to do to get into my bed. So, but when that music stopped playing, when I had the monitor in the room and then that music going, so the music was always in my room as well because it was through the monitor. When we got to the point where we weren't using the monitor anymore and I didn't hear that noise, I struggled.
Yeah. Right.
So you don't realize like how adjusted you come to like hearing that just
a constant
because it plays like all night long. You know, they're on timers, but not with our kids. Like they need to play all night long. And we lived in apartments too, so you needed something to apartments are a little noisy, so you always need something to cover that. But it was surprising like how used I got into that too, and there was an adjustment period for me. Yeah. And then again when they stopped, because I could still somewhat hear it, but when it went away for good. Yeah. Then I still kind of had to adjust again and not hearing that even on the other side of the house. So I don't know how they do it because I always get a little sad that music's not playing anymore.
My teenager, she stopped using it a couple of years ago. I don't know why she stopped using it. I guess it wasn't the cool thing with her friends or whatever, but she always complains that it's so loud, and I tell her, go back to using the sound machine because I'm serious. It blocks everything.
And it's not loud. It just it has that undertone of noise where you can kind of block everything else out.
Right, yeah. So that's my hesitation whenever anyone says, hey, you want to go, on a road trip that involves staying in a hotel. That's my biggest hesitation.
Well, next time you know that you just need to pack your machine with you and bring it, and I can deal with that.
Well, and I think one of the other girls said she usually uses it too, and she said she had an app on her phone, which I thought was pretty cool. But my battery sucks ass, so it would be drained all night from listening to the sound or running the sound machine. So.
Well, I had to laugh because I got home and the kids and Matt weren't here. They had run up to the store or something, but the house was a disaster. But it was, I think I told you, like, it was the kind of disaster where you could tell that they had like the most amazing weekend ever. So you couldn't really be mad about the fact that there were Nerf bullets literally everywhere. And, pancake batter dried on the counter and everything. Right. So it was just, it had clearly been like an amazing weekend for them. Yeah. So I think they did all right. They will survive without us. So
Absolutely.
Right. Not that there was any doubt.
Well, sometimes. My kids will say otherwise. Right. My kids act like I'm the only one that can take care of
that knows how
to
do anything.
Great.
Right. No, it's not.
It's nice to be needed. It is. But yeah, I agree. Sometimes it's nice to know that they can handle themselves on their own.
I'm kind of in that. We're in that point in life where they're doing more and more on their own. So some of that makes me very sad, and some of it makes me very giddy because I'm like, oh my God, like the shower thing. Henry is like. Jackie's been sharing since last summer. Maggie's been doing it for years, but now Henry's like, oh, I think I want to try that. I could cry. Yeah. Because it makes me so happy to think about not bending over that stupid bathtub and giving him a bath.
Yeah, no, I totally...
I don't even care that he's probably not even, cleaning everything.
I'm the same way. I'm the same way. Right. For the longest time, I bathed all three of the small ones together. Right. And it was such a chore. Right. I mean, oh my God.
The boys used to bathe together until it was almost like a tidal wave outside of the tub.
Oh, absolutely.
And they were just too big. And they want to play. You can't blame them. But it got to the point I'd have to mop every time they took a bath. I'm like, we're done,
Or put the towels. I have to go back in there with towels and lay them because every time there was more water outside the tub than there was inside the tub. So yeah, I agree. Once they all started being able to, take their own showers, it was nice. Because I'll be honest, I never looked forward to bath time. No. After dinner, then I'd have to go bathe. And it's like, at that point, you're just exhausted.
Right. I'm kind of over it. Like, I don't want to bathe you. I don't want to wipe your butt. No. I don't want to do any of that.
Yeah. No.
Yesterday, I was on the phone, and apparently Henry had gone to the bathroom, and, he came in, and he wasn't wearing pants or anything because he doesn't. He has to when he he's gonna kill me for this one day if he ever hears this. But Henry poops naked. There, I said it.
I told you, Paige,
right?
did
Yeah,
too, so it's not so strange.
Jackie, you know, Jackie's going to the bathroom because he sings this song that he made up about how much he loves me. And Henry has to just be completely naked. So, like, he was naked and everything, but he's like, Mommy, I was pooping and you weren't coming, so I just cleaned myself up. And I'm like, oh, go wash your hands. Like, thank you. That's awesome, but go wash your hands. So, we're moving on up. You know, people are bathing themselves, wiping their own backsides, making their own peanut butter and jelly.
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
If they could just get themselves to school.
Yes,
without me, right?
I agree. Yes.
But that's not going to happen.
No.
So yeah, there's that.
If you can't tell, we're kind of.
It's late. It's just I'm like there's no other way to put it. I'm dragging ass. I mean, I cannot get my groove going this week.
No, me neither.
I've gotten things done, but man, I just don't. I mean, the pure act of eating is like, eh.
Yeah. I agree. I know I will say I enjoy the occasional like adult time away.
Right.
But when I come home, it almost feels like I wish I would have never left. Do you ever feel like that?
Right.
Like I feel like everything just kind of snowballed after I left, and now I have catch up.
Right.
On top of whatever it was that I was gonna do, and that's kind of how I feel. You know.
And it's the end of summer.
Yes, it is.
I mean, I think technically we're closer to the middle than the end, but it's really the end of summer. I mean, especially we go on
the 22nd.
We go on vacation and then we come back and it's time for school.
Yeah, it's crazy. I know. This summer went by really fast.
Yeah.
This is August 22nd. It's the first day of school. But before that, you've got, like, I just got an email today for Aubrey's 9th grade, they call it Stang Camp.
Right.
Mustang,
yes.
But Stang. I said, could they not use the word Mustang? Come on, Stang Camp. It kind of sounds like stained.
Skeezy. Right, yeah.
But that's like the 18th, and that's the same day as Meet the
Teacher.
Teacher. So it's like you have all these things like the week before. So technically.
So what is that camp? I mean, do they like... Is that where they meet their teachers and learn where everything is? It all day? What do they do?
You know, they go alphabetically. So she's a B, so she'll go 2:30 to 4:30. If it's like it was in middle school, you go and they give you your schedule, and I guess they give you your locker assignment, and you buy things like your planner and all that, and then you get to walk around and put your stuff in your locker and all. That's what we did in middle school. And boy, I tell you, it's hard being the first of your friends who has a middle schooler.
Right.
And now first of my friends really who has a high schooler.
Because you're going to have to answer my questions forever.
Yeah, and I have so many friends who say, I'm coming to you. And I'm like, well, I'm glad I can help. But I wish I would have had someone who told me these things. Like, we found out the hard way in middle school that kids decorate their lockers.
Oh, yes.
They bought friggin' chandeliers,
I know.
shag carpet. Where the hell were you when she was starting 6th grade? Damn.
Because I have nieces and nephews, so this is one thing I did.
We
didn't know about the decorating lockers.
We did not do this back in Florida. I mean, it's huge here. I mean, huge.
I think I had some pictures of me and my friends cut out.
I don't know that I had anything. I was just shoving and going.
Shoving shit in there.
Yeah, that's all I did.
It might have been a banana from 3 weeks ago in there or something like that.
I did not eat bananas in high school. I was probably eating like crackers out of the vending machine or something.
I don't want to talk about what I was doing in high school.
Yeah. But yeah, I wish someone would have told me.
Right.
Because you want to feel really bad. You walk up to the locker with all these moms with these $50 Hallmark kits.
Yeah, but...
And your kid is like... Thankfully, she's not that kid. So
right.
she never even... I was like, honey, I feel really bad. We can go buy it. And she's like, I don't want that stuff. But it's just the fact that I felt bad that I didn't know. But...
You want to know a secret, though? Some of that stuff is really ridiculous.
Oh, it was. It was all ridiculous,
right.
I have to say.
Do you really need it? Why does it have to go so freaking overboard?
No, to put a chandelier. Literally, these girls had magnetic chandeliers that had light switches, so they turned
Right.
on.
Like, what? I mean,
I don't know what the hell. I have no idea. That's all I can say.
it's too much.
It was. When you went to Hallmark, because I went after because I felt so guilty
Right.
just to see. They sold rolls of the I almost said magnetic toilet paper. That's how tired I am. The magnetic wallpaper.
Right.
And it was like $29. And I said, by the time you decked this locker out, you're looking at $100.
For what? I mean,
And do you know what she told me at the end of that year? She said, I hardly use my locker anyway. It's so far away. I share my locker. I share a friend's locker. And I'm like, well, I'm glad I didn't even take the time. So the best thing we did was we painted her shelves white, because you have to purchase your wooden shelves.
right.
And so we painted them white, and we used green
They go
duct
into
tape.
the-
Yes.
Yes.
Which is so bizarre to me that you have to buy shelves, and you keep them. You use them every year.
Yeah, I think I just had like the shelf
Very
on
weird.
top and then the hook for your coat. I don't.
Oh, I don't know if we even had. No,
Well,
we didn't.
This is Texas, so I mean
Yeah.
that was Florida. Why would you have hooks? But I mean, we had to put like
no.
winter coats in there. But
We just had the little, like, maybe 3 by whatever, 4, 3 foot.
I know what we had. We just had like a mirror. I always had like a mirror in my locker.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I do not recall. I could tell
I
you
had
where
to
my
make
locker
sure that
was.
my bangs
though.
were like high.
I know broccoli bangs, man. Yeah, Jersey
I
Jersey
rocked
Mall
that.
hair.
I rocked that.
Yeah.
I saw a bottle of Aquanet the other day at Target. I'm like, holy crap.
Was it next to the Zima? I'm just kidding.
What? No, let's not go there.
Oh, rum chata. That sounds good right now.
That was really good.
That was
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, hi, kitty.
All
Sorry,
right.
cat moment. All right, so we and this is another one of those things where we've not gone over our list with each other, but we have come up with some things to tell things we wanted to tell our 25-year-old self. And I can't remember how we even came up with this. Do you? It's one we've had in our pocket for a while.
Yeah, and I don't remember where it came from either, because we kind of dig from different places.
Right.
I don't remember. I don't recall. Probably just one of our brainstorm sessions
Yes.
where we sit around and we try to think of good topics. So
We did try to do that this week, and it didn't go very well.
no, it didn't. It
Well,
really
we came up
didn't.
with a couple the next couple episodes, but it was rough.
It was
I was
it was.
hungry. My
I was
blood
tired.
sugar was low.
I was just tired. Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, I'll go first.
So okay.
One of my biggest regrets, and I know people are going to say, well, that's something you can fix now. I'm not. I'm almost 40 years old. I wish I had gone to and finished college.
Okay.
And not necessarily like right out of high school. I don't regret that path, but I wish at some point in time in my 20s I had said, I'm going to go and I'm going to get the degree. I don't think I would have still utilized it. I think I would still be on my path, but at least I could not regret not doing that. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, I mean,
Right.
it doesn't take over too much of my life that I haven't done it, but every once in a while I'm like, I think I would have really enjoyed that. So maybe it's something I would have utilized, but I did not do it. So, however, other people in this relationship have gone to school for many, many years, and we'll be paying on that until the day we die. So I kind of really hate to add to that now.
If it makes you feel better.
Not
yes.
to make anybody feel guilty about his life choices, but it's just kind of one of those things where I don't...
I'm glad to know we're not alone.
Yeah. Like, I'm proud of him and everything that he's done, but it's, whenever I think about doing it, because I even think about signing up at Lone Star, and I'm like, I can't add to that.
I'm going to be honest with you. I liked college. I didn't love it. And I was a studio art major.
Right.
If I could take it all back, I wouldn't have gone to college.
Really?
Honestly. Because there's so many things that you can accomplish these days without a college degree.
Exactly.
I know a lot of
and
people will give me grief
I'm a
for
perfect
that.
example of that.
But I am a firm
Right.
believer. And I tell my children all the time, especially Aubrey, who struggles to figure out what she wants to do.
Right.
I tell her, don't think that you have to go and get a 4-year degree. You
Right.
do not. There are so many things. I know friends that are hairdressers, and they love what they do, and it did not have to be 4 years of college.
And see, to me, that's the important part. I've known people that have been concerned about the things that their children are choosing to do because of the money, and I'm like, but it's what they want to do.
Right.
And it's going to make them happy.
Right.
I can't imagine not being happy in what you're doing. You
Right.
know what I mean? Like, when you choose that path, it needs to be something that you want to wake up in the morning and go do.
Yeah.
And that can't be just because it brings home a decent paycheck.
Yes. And so that is one of mine.
Right.
One of mine was you don't necessarily need to go to college. I think success comes in different forms.
Right.
You know, there are different paths these days that I wish I would have taken, you know.
And I'm a kind of person I like every other day think this is what I want to be when I grow up. You know, like I don't know that I would even have, whatever I had done then is something I would be interested in. I know it wouldn't be because I just can never decide what I want to do.
And I was still in college at 25.
Right.
I was. I mean, at one point, I was taking 5 college classes and working 3 part-time jobs.
Right.
It was hard, you know.
Very hard, I'm sure.
It took me a long time to finish college because I had to work a lot of hours while I did it, you know. So, I think I graduated when I was 26, maybe. Yeah, no, maybe. I don't even remember. Isn't that terrible? I graduated in 98. And so, but I didn't start immediately out of high school. I graduated high school in 90. So, no, it did. I must have started, I didn't start, I don't think, until I was 21 or 22.
Right.
So, it took me a while. I think it took me 6 years, but that's what happens when you have to work, you know?
Well, and I'm sure there's breaks in there and working and everything else.
There were no breaks, but there were
right.
a lot of semesters where I could only take like 1 or 2 classes.
Right.
And that's hard. It slows you down tremendously, you know, especially during the summer. They, you know, where you know, classes are so abbreviated as it is.
Right.
So, but
well, and that's what's taken Matt as long as it has, is the fact that there's been semesters where he's only been able to take 1, and there's been semesters where he's known his travel schedule, and there's just no way.
Right.
So he's had to take sessions off. So
yeah.
But yeah, the college thing. Let me I should have put these in a little bit more better order. We had years of infertility, and when I say that, we got married when we were 20. And we didn't have Maggie until we were 30. Mm-hmm. And we basically, from the get-go, we got married in May, and at Christmas time is when we decided to start having children. So almost immediately, and it just took 10 years. Mm-hmm. The one thing I really wish, and this one I always pay myself to say, because the one thing you don't want to tell somebody that has fertility issues is you just need to chill out.
Right.
You need to relax. It's going to happen. And that's not what I'm saying, because I hate that line. I hate it with everything within my body. Like, it doesn't affect your fertility to stress about it. But what I would really like to tell her is that it's going to be okay.
Right.
Because I wasted a lot of time. We always said, like, we lived in 2-week intervals. Right. Because it was 2 weeks to when you were, this is a lot of information, fertile. Right. And then 2 weeks before you found out. And then you'd start over again and over and over. And we literally, for 10 years, lived in 2-week periods. And I just wish that we hadn't. Mm-hmm. And that if I had known that eventually I wasn't going to be able to stop popping kids out, it would not have been such a stressful time.
Right.
And that it would have maybe been a little bit more enjoyable for us as a couple. Because everyone's always like, oh my gosh, you were married 10 years before you started having children. How amazing. You must have done all these great things. And I'm like,
no.
You know what? We didn't. And I feel really bad about that. And I feel bad for Matt because it was, and he readily came along for that ride. But I feel sometimes like we might have robbed ourselves of something because we were so focus on that child thing. Right. And I don't want to tell her to relax about it because it's not happening because she's stressed out, but I need for her to know that that it is going to happen. Right. Like if I could just like peek back in the future and say, "Hey, you're cool." Just so you know. Right. Yeah. Yeah. I know. But yeah, and we kind of went through the same thing. Not that long. I mean, Aubrey took 3 years, and then there were 6 years from the time Aubrey to Emma. But yeah, if I could go back, because we stressed about it a lot too for those 6 years. But it turns out I had blood clotting issues. But I would tell her, don't worry, you're going to end up with more kids than you even bargained for, so it'll be okay. It's really going to be fine. Yeah. So, The other thing, and it goes along with that, is the fact that I really wish we had traveled more.
Right. That's on mine too. Travel as much as you can.
Right, because we really, I mean, we did, and when we did, and we didn't, and I'm not like fancy places. Fancy places are fine, but our nicest vacations were, we were only about 4 hours from Toronto, so we'd always cross the border and jump on the train and go there for the weekend, and we loved, I mean, it was amazing. That was our place. And then we also loved going up to the UP in Michigan, the Upper Peninsula.
Oh, okay.
And camping up there. And it's, I mean, two of our really favorite things. I just, really looking back, I wish we had done that more.
Yeah.
So.
Right. Yeah.
And other places. We could have ventured out a little bit more. And again, that goes back to the fact that we truly lived in that moment of every 2 weeks. We had to do this, we had to do this, we had to do this. So.
But I think, and I guess some people are different, but when we were that age, we really, our traveling, our getaways consisted of a weekend in New Orleans.
Right.
Or, I don't know, going to the beach.
Right.
We weren't in the mindset of, hey, let's go travel and see the world or see things. Like, we just weren't. Where I know there are people who are like that at that age, but we just weren't, I don't know. I don't know. Our world was really small at the time.
And ours was too. Very much so. And we ironically have more opportunity now. Like, I technically could travel with him.
Right.
He doesn't go to a lot of really exciting places. No offense, Idaho. But but I can't now. And that's fine. Like, not like sitting there glaring at my kids like, my God, you've ruined everything. But that might happen occasionally. But not really.
I'm sorry, I can't get past Idaho. I hear that little joke in my head. Idaho. Get it?
One go.
Idaho?
Yeah. Oh, we just lost like 5 viewers. That's fine. I don't want your stupid potatoes anyway. But where was I? The travel thing. But even like the weekend trips, we didn't. I feel like we could have done it more. I wish we had done it more.
Yeah. But, I know for us specifically, we were working and going to school and, it didn't lend itself to money or time, We
ironically had a ton of money, but this is why Matt worked his butt off. I mean, he's always been he's got this work drive that far exceeds mine by leaps and bounds. So, and some of that's also why we didn't travel that much is he worked all the time.
A lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if you've got this on yours too. I feel like every 20-year-old or every 40-year-old would love to go back and tell their 20-year-old this is to put the we're not using that word, are we?
Oh, that's the one word we decided we
put the darn credit card down.
Yeah, that is on my list.
Yes.
Don't get a credit card. You'll thank me later. Absolutely. You don't need that shit.
Man, it just...
You don't. I don't care. And my husband used to say, oh, well, to rent a car, because he used to work for a rental car. I said, hell no. You do not.
Right.
There are ways around it. Trust me.
If you can you should have one. And you should put it away and not use it. Because there are...
extenuating circumstances.
But my God. I mean, I'm not going to go into numbers, but it was a huge number. And we were like... And we didn't have anything to show for it either.
Right.
What the hell happened?
Right.
So...
Yeah, no, I am right there with you on the credit card.
Right.
Like, I tell my teenager all the time, you don't need a credit card, you don't want a credit card.
Right.
Because she'll ask every once in a while, well, can I have, when I get older, I'm going to get a credit card and buy things. I'm like, no,
that's not
you
how
are
it works.
not.
Trust me, you shouldn't do that. Like, no, that's not, and that's the mentality.
Yeah.
And I wasn't raised that way, so I don't know where that came from. And so many people do it, and I don't linger on that too long, and it's long been gone and taken care of. But it was just one of those things that for several years it was a problem because we had allowed it to become that way.
Right.
So, and the real kicker was the fact that I could look around and there would be like, I have nothing to show for that.
Right.
I don't even know.
Right. No, and I know most people are probably thinking the same thing.
Right.
Because when you're young, you want that instant gratification.
Right.
And that was one of mine. You don't need it takes time to get to where you need to be.
Exactly.
That instant gratification is not going to get you anywhere except miserable.
Right.
You don't need that
You're
sofa.
going to be disappointed.
You don't need those $400 shoes, you
Right.
know. Yeah, absolutely.
I will say I do have on here that I should buy good bras, good shoes, and good furniture. So
Yeah, okay. Not when you're 25. You mean...
yeah.
Oh. Well, how, on your credit card?
No, because if you have a job like I did, I should be able to budget my money out and be able to afford that stuff. I'm not saying buy expensive stuff and lots of it, but instead of the 30 pairs of crappy Payless shoes that I had that now my feet are screwed up, I could have bought just a few pairs of decent shoes.
Invest in
your shoes.
Yeah.
Invest in your bra, because those tatas are not going to look as good when they're 40.
Your friends will thank you when you're 40.
Your friends will thank you when you're 40. And the furniture thing, it's like, you just buy, if you buy good furniture, it can last for decades. And then I'm always looking around like, there's nothing.
You don't have anything that's left over.
The only thing we had that I had owned when I was 25 was our bed frame. But then when we moved back to Texas here, we upgraded to a king size bed, so the bed frame went. And they're actually really cheap. It's amazing. Nothing short of a miracle that these end tables and coffee table have lasted as long as I have. But my two really crappy, ugly 1997 end tables and coffee tables still exist. And those are from back in the day. So
you still do.
But that's it.
I don't. I have one piece of furniture that has traveled with me all over, and it wasn't anything I bought. It was actually a hutch that my grandpa built when I was in high school. But now that I think about it, I don't know. I might have a tchotchke, but I don't have a single stick of furniture that
has lasted years.
And I think part of that is because it was just hideous. My mom has the couch. Yes, she does. We bought on a Sears card a fairly nice sofa and love seat, and of course glass top coffee table, because this was the 90s.
That's fancy.
With the wrought iron, bottom.
Yes. Oh no, I know exactly.
And
which
she
one.
still has the little sofa, and it actually held up really well.
Right.
It was sage green, of course. It was the 90s. But other than that, I don't know. Now you're going to make me go home and try to see. I'm going to see if I still have something from the 90s.
I don't.
I know we have our diplomas that are framed, but other than that, I don't know. Now I'm going to go home and look at everything when I get there. We
still don't have good furniture. Like I with the kids as little as they are, I refuse to buy decent furniture.
Yeah, absolutely.
So.
We have a scratched up kitchen table. It's like the saddest kitchen table. But you know what? When my kids are older, then I can get nicer things. I don't want to spend my time stressing that they've scratched the table again.
Or they colored it.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm right there with you.
Sometimes I have to scrape glitter off my table, so there's no way I'm spending any money on one.
Absolutely. Me too.
Right.
Me too.
When I say sometimes, I mean all the time. I don't know where they're getting the glitter from. Let's see. I would tell her that she needs to eat a salad more often. Because, that's going to catch up with you, too.
Eat better. I think that was one of mine, too. Take care of your health.
Eat better and learn to run.
Yeah. Learn to like to run.
I guess people do.
You need to learn to enjoy it. Otherwise, you're not going to do it.
Right.
Because
it doesn't have to be running.
I hate it.
Find that one exercise
yeah.
that you're very passionate about.
Yeah, because I think if you can start the habit and continue with it, but that's easier said than done. I partied my way through my 20s,
right?
And hell, the last thing I wanted to do was drink.
We didn't party that much anyway. We were homebodies, really. I mean, we might go listen to a live band or something, but
I'm lucky I remember being 25.
We were within walking distance of a 7-Eleven, so we didn't need to go out and party.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Go spike a Slurpee. I wonder what flavor would go with rum chata. I've got to go buy a bottle of that.
All right.
That's some good shit.
What time does Specs close? We'll go now. The kids are asleep. They'll never know. That's good parenting right there. Let's see. So, stop cutting your hair short.
Really?
I do it all the time, and I really started around that time that everyone would get really long, and I'd be like, oh, so I would just cut it super super short.
Right.
And every single time, I mean, I have spent like a good 20 years growing my hair out because I grow it out and then I cut it again. It's like I keep forgetting. It's like Groundhog Day. I keep forgetting that I hate it. And I really hate it, like when it's short like that. So,
well, the next time you have a hair appointment, I'll remind you.
right,
Copper,
you
don't do it.
Just don't do it,
Don't do
Copper.
it.
Don't do it.
Don't. You
Dye
just
it
need to
purple.
block the hairdresser's number on
That's
your
true.
phone.
And I have never even had like one person I religiously go to. But I'm not meant to have short hair. I think I really want it deep down, but I'm not meant to.
Yeah, no, yeah. And I've had super, super short hair, so I do know that. I have gone from one extreme to the other.
Well, I think, did you see the picture from my last big haircut? I think I showed it this weekend that it was
super short.
And it wasn't meant to be that short. It was just a haircut that was, I'm not supposed to use that word again. I knew this would be difficult. It was really bad. So they had to, when they went to go fix it, not the girl that cut it originally, because I didn't want her to even be in the building when they fixed it. But when they went to fix it, she was like, just so you know,
it's got to be super short.
I got to go really short to get this fixed. So I'm still recovering from that a year later.
Why the hell didn't you just ask for an asymmetrical cut? You could have rocked that.
Girl, I did.
You could have looked like Flock of Seagulls.
I think she was either... Flock of Seagulls.
Whatever.
Do you like Flock of Seagulls?
I would have worn a damn hat. Because I had I told you 2 weeks before we got married, I had super long hair, just like I have now. And I got a body wave, and the girl got on the phone at Fantastic Sam's. I don't know what the hell I was thinking. And she left it on too long, and it fried my hair. And I luckily was going to school at the time with a girl who worked at Dillard's in the hair salon. And she said, I can fix it for you, but I'm going to have to cut off a lot. And I'm like, no. And sure enough, she had to cut it so short. I had the worst haircut in my wedding photos. It's, to this day, I cringe when I look at those wedding photos.
Why do we do that?
It looked so matronly. It was
everybody
awful.
has that, I had to get my hair cut before my wedding and it was ruined. Like, why do we do that to ourselves that we have to...
I don't know, but it was awful. That's probably like one of my biggest regrets was ever. And looking back, I should have just said, you know what? We'll just deep condition this shit and pull it up.
Right.
Because I probably could have made it work. I don't know what I was thinking. I really don't.
You were 2 weeks out from your wedding. You weren't thinking
I was
that much.
freaked out.
Right.
Yeah. Ugh. I don't know.
So when we were 25, somewhere around there, I think we might have been a little bit younger than 25. I don't know. It was close. We bought a house. We had been living in a trailer that we owned for several years, and we were really in a rush to get like that rushed. You think you got to have something.
Keep up with it, yeah.
So we and we did what we felt like everything was right. We went way below what we could afford. Mm-hmm. We got financing through our bank versus at the time, I don't know if you remember. You could snap your finger and 20 million different people would give you a mortgage, and half of them were just fly by night time. Like everybody was giving out mortgages. And this house was a money pit beyond belief, and it was a dump. And I should have listened to Matthew, and he's gonna somewhere pump his fist right now, that because he was like, no, I don't want this house. I'm like, no, this is perfect. You know, it ended up being a crappy neighborhood. It ended up being a dump. It cost us a ton of money to do everything to it. And then the market crashed.
Oh, no.
And that is still something 15 years later that we're recovering from.
Right.
And it might have been different.
Had you just stayed where you were.
Had we either stayed where we were.
Right.
Or if I had listened to him and not been in such a rush to get somewhere that I would choose whatever was available.
Right.
So, and it literally is still haunting us to this day. Mm-hmm. Like all of our decisions are still based on that house. Because eventually... we had to walk away from it. Uh-huh. So it was just, because it was that horrible.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I remember that was about, when we were 28, we tried to buy a house in Pensacola. And you're right. Houses were so cheap.
Which was about, everybody was... if you were 28, it was about the same time.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And looking back, I'm glad we didn't, because it turns out it was not in a very good neighborhood.
Right.
Like we thought it was, but later down the road, we discovered that the neighborhood went downhill very quickly. So
well, and that was the trick to this place. Like the house was very old and it needed so much work, and I can't even begin to talk the amount of work that needed to go in this house, or things that we didn't know about when we bought it. But it was a perfectly not perfectly fine, but it was a decent neighborhood when we moved in.
Mm-hmm.
But as the market crashed, and this was in Ohio, just south of Detroit, just south of, you know, the automobile industry
Right.
headquarters, when everything crashed, that area went downhill very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And so its value went down very quickly, and to 1/10 of what it was.
Oh,
so
wow. Yeah.
So it just became a very impossible situation very quickly for us, and it became one of those things where maybe if we hadn't had to move, it wouldn't have been such a big issue.
Mm-hmm.
We probably would have still been at a loss, but we had to move in order to stay employed. And on top of that, it was not a good fix. And it was just me being rushed to get into something. So don't rush. Don't rush and buy that house.
That's what yeah.
Right. There was a point there, and it's don't rush. Like, you don't, and you've already said that, like, you don't need to settle just to get
instant
to that
gratification.
Point. Right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
but that seems to be the theme of the 20s.
Your
Of
20s.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's like, I want it now. I do. I have to
Right.
have it now. I can't wait. Oh my God. Yeah. Ooh. Lots of bad decisions were made in the 20s.
Right.
Or my 20s. Maybe
No,
not the 1920s, but in my 20s.
The other two are very, not deep, but deep. You know, I have to pause for a second. I was going to say, we talked about this not going an hour. Guess what?
What?
Like, we're going to go an hour.
Oh,
yeah. We can apparently talk more than we thought we could when we originally started the show.
Holy cow.
We were like, we're going to keep it to 20 minutes, and we've grown to about an hour. So
I was kind of shocked, but
right. No, and we thought
we can
today
stretch anything out.
Yeah, today I thought, you know, it's not going to go to an hour, but we're going to hit an hour. So, the other two I'm going to put them together, and then I have a really cool quote I came across today. I would really like her to know that she's actually pretty cool and she's worth knowing, because I didn't.
That is funny. That is one
Yeah.
of mine. I said not everybody, especially
and
guys.
we've talked about this, like, and
It's okay.
And it's like this tidal wave that came over from the high school crap that you go through, that just really second guessing myself all the time, and I know you did it too. And
Yep.
I still do sometimes to this day. I think as I get older, I'm to the point I'm like, screw it, I don't care. I'm too tired of second guessing myself.
Oh, absolutely.
I am what I am.
If you
and
don't
you either
like
me,
yeah.
then there's the door.
I agree, but that was my last one. I said not all guys, or people for that matter, are
Right.
going to like you, and
Right.
that's okay. Because I don't know, I mean, I'm sure you did the same, because we were kind of the same, but I mean, if someone didn't like me, I was devastated.
Right.
Especially a guy, and I thought, well, what's wrong with me? Well, turns out it was what was wrong with him.
Exactly.
It wasn't what was wrong with me.
And not just relationships, but the things that you did too, like constantly guessing, well, what if I'm not any good at that? Or what if I fail at that? Or
Right.
what, you know. So just as a group, like, I really wish I had known then what I know now.
Absolutely.
That A, I am totally worth it and I'm capable of it. And B, if I'm not, who the hell cares?
Yeah, I agree. I like who I am.
Yeah.
And
Because you're pretty cool.
I'm freaking. I could have totally used a bad word.
Right,
but
I know.
am damn cool, and I like myself. And I feel like, damn, what's that Smalley guy who says I am worth it? And remember on Saturday Night Live?
Yeah.
Whatever his name was.
And gosh darn it, people like
There
me.
you go. That's it. But yeah, I agree. I totally agree 100% with that one, because, yeah.
And so my quote then goes along with those, and it's from Peter Capaldi, which is Doctor Who.
Okay.
So you kind of know where I got it from. We're in our house, we're geeks, and we own that crap. Worrying that you are crap is a waste of time. Worrying that you can't do it is a waste of time. Worrying that you failed is a waste of time. Nobody cares, so just get on with it.
Yep.
And I thought that was pretty good.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like the theme of your 20s.
Yeah.
You're so worried that
You're not meeting these goals.
Yeah,
Right.
and that people aren't going to like you for who you are. It's just a shame that the youth is wasted on the young. I say
Right.
that all the time.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, oh my God, yeah. So, yeah. I don't know how many more I have that you didn't hit on.
I think we're so similar. Yeah.
My first one was life is not like it is in the movies, but
Right.
that's okay,
Yeah.
because I know, things don't always work out like you think they're going to work
Exactly.
out, but they work out the way they're supposed to. You know me, I'm big on karma.
Right.
Karma will get you, and you know who you are. But I think, especially like that time in the 90s, those movies were so idealistic, I guess. You
Absolutely.
wanted that. And that's what you set, you set this
Right.
high goal and or standard, and that's not how life is.
And not only could you not reach that goal, when you didn't reach it,
you felt crushed. You felt like a
Right,
failure.
right.
But yeah, so that I would love to tell my 25-year-old self, life is not like it is in the movies. Get over it. You'll end up with what, something better.
right.
Let's see. I don't know. It's kind of similar to what you said. I just said you won't always be young and beautiful. So
Yeah.
enjoy it while you can. Let's see.
Use moisturizer with sunscreen.
Absolutely. And that was one of my stay out of the sun. Your
Right.
skin will thank you.
You're so anti-sun.
Absolutely.
Just
I
put
am.
sunscreen on.
No, it doesn't work. I mean, literally, stay out of the sun. The sun is not your friend. It likes to tell you it is, but it's not.
It's so warm and
That
cozy,
bitch
though.
will freckle you up in a second. Or it does me anyway. Let's see. I said enjoy those days when your biggest challenge was what to wear to the club.
Yeah.
Because life has a lot bigger challenges than what you're going to wear to the club. But I can remember when that was like my biggest challenge for the week was, well, what was I going to wear when we went out?
Or where were you going to go eat breakfast when you woke up at 11 o'clock on Sunday afternoon?
Yeah. Or what time to be at the club.
Yeah. Never before 11.
Yeah. Never before. Yeah. And we would go at 10 and it would be just so like,
Right.
you're like a loser because there was nobody in there. And nowadays, if you tell me let's go at 11 o'clock somewhere, I'm like, I'm in bed.
Yes.
11 is when I leave to go home.
Well, back to this weekend, as a bunch of grown women that were out and about in the city, like we were in that hotel room by 10:30
Absolutely.
both nights. So we're like, no, we have to go to bed.
Yeah, absolutely. But you know what? It's okay. And I have to say, I stay up till about midnight
Yes.
on my own. But I'm watching TV and Netflix and stuff. But
I'm
still,
playing solitaire on my phone.
I do.
And
I have that ability.
usually
I'm not
talking to
so
you.
old
Right.
that I can't stay
Right.
up that late. I just pick and choose.
I'm not so old that I can't stay up that late. I just have no interest in being out that late.
No, me neither. And I sure don't want to be standing in a bar at midnight. No. Oh my God. I've been there, done that. Everyone.
I've got beer in my fridge. Why would I have to go out?
And you can stay home in stretchy pants.
Yes, I know.
Stretchy pants are the best. I have to tell you a little funny story. I've had these, it's funny we're talking about this. I've had these 3 pairs of shorts that I bought at Academy back in my 20s to wear to the gym when I used to go to the gym. That's really funny. And they had a drawstring that you would pull.
Yes.
It wasn't a total drawstring. It was just kind of more for looks. Well, do you know that yesterday the drawstring actually where it's sewn in, the drawstring fell out of it.
How sad
So I had to
were
pull
you?
that drawstring out. Well, unfortunately for me, or fortunately for me, they now fit without the drawstring. So I was like, yes, I don't have to worry about the drawstring. But I thought I've had those since I was in my 20s.
Right.
I just thought it was really funny that we're talking about this, and I was like, yeah.
I have some comfort
So
clothes
I
that
do
I've had
still
for
have
years.
something
Yeah.
from my
There
20s.
you go.
Which is really, I'm going to have to go on a quest. I'm going to vision
To see
quest
what we
to
can
see what's in my
find.
house that I still have. Yeah. I don't think much. One of my big ones, and it's kind of come to light lately or in the past couple of years, because I've had, a couple of deaths in my family, but I said hold tight to good friends and keep your family ties strong, because they're not always going to be there.
No.
You need to spend as much time as you can with your parents and your grandparents. Your grandparents especially, because most of us don't keep our grandparents once they start going into their 30s and their 40s. And so that was a big one for me. Enjoy all that family time, because family to me was big. It was.
My grandparents were gone fairly early. I think I was 20, 21 when they passed away. So,
No.
But I will say, and it's funny that you brought that up, because I hesitate on that, because I almost put something very similar to that, because my dad was sick for years, really a decade, probably longer than that if he had acknowledged it. But the thing when you have someone in your life that is sick for a long time, you become very complacent.
Yes. Yes. My grandpa, for
You
10
know.
years, he was sick.
So
Yeah.
you don't forget, but you forget.
Right.
And so you don't necessarily make that effort as much as you should. And I wish I would tell her that
Yeah.
you've only got 4 years left with him. You might want to go ahead and make that count.
Yes.
So
Yes. I totally agree.
Right.
And you're right. And I will tell you, I grew up with my grandparents. They raised me, and I went home every weekend because I washed my laundry there,
Right.
and they would give me a 20, for whatever. But as life got busier, the trips
became less
and less. And it sucks. We all get busy, but
Right.
that to me, that probably should have been my number one.
Right.
So
That'll end up being a burden if you don't do that. I mean,
Yes.
it's going to be a burden on your soul.
yes,
You're going to wish you
Yes.
had.
yeah. I think that's probably it for me because a lot of mine were very similar to yours, and I elaborated on some of
Right.
yours. So mine just said, take care of your health, stay out of the sun. Yeah, those were mine.
Right.
So
I'm not sure either one of us were terribly crazy in our 20s, so it might be a different list for somebody else. I mean, like, we had our moments.
oh, I was totally crazy in my 20s. And if anybody listening to this remembers me in my 20s,
Email me and let me know.
they will attest. Yes, I was. Out of control is probably the best phrase.
Right.
But, in my defense, most of my friends were as well.
Yeah.
And you know who you are. Yeah, we were all crazy.
We were married, so...
Oh, yeah, no, I was not.
Yeah.
So we didn't get married until I was 28. No, 25. I got married in 98. How
we
old
got married
was
in
I?
97.
Now I have to do the math. I can't remember how old
So
I
you were,
was.
if you were 98,
I don't remember how old I was in 1998. Isn't that terrible?
26, 27?
Let's see. 1998 minus 1972. I was 26. Okay,
Yeah.
so yeah, I was 26. But we still partied. We
Right.
partied hard until Aubrey. When I had Aubrey, that kind of changed everything. Yeah. So yeah, we partied for like 10 years, hard because I was.
See,
30.
we were kind of an old couple before we even were an old couple.
Well, I always say she was my saving grace,
Right.
Because I mean, we could at the midst of it, when I was still kind of single, we would party 3 nights in a row.
Right.
Go home at 4 a.m., get up at 6 to go to work,
And
go
do it
back
all
all over again.
Right.
Every week, which is crazy. If you were to ask me to do that these days, I would laugh at you and probably
Right.
run over you with my car. I'm like, no, not doing that.
I got stretchy pants. I got to get home. All right, guys. Well, just to let you know, coming up next week on Life Under the Laundry Pile, we're going to have random kid questions. We're going to ask our kids some questions and see what their answers are. If you have any questions you would like to ask them, please let us know on any of the sites that we have, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I don't know. Can they really respond to us on Instagram?
They can, but it's
Right,
not really.
right.
It's more no. I do it on our Facebook.
Right.
or
Facebook is
Twitter.
great. Yeah. I mean, we're really over on Facebook all the time. So if you got to think really hard and let us know if there's any questions that you want to hear their answers to. Let us know that. And then I'm not eating that, which we want to talk about food. And our kids and food and the difficulties that we go through with what they do and what we do out of desperation to make sure that they're eating.
Yes.
So I don't think either one of us have it terribly rough. I hear horror stories that are just beyond awful, but there's texture issues and allergies that we both deal with. So
Yeah.
We wanted to cover that with you. So as a reminder as well, Heather does her own blog, Our Life So Far, and I do Never Drink from Mommy's Cup. Both of us have recently bought our own domain, which is really cool, and we're excited about that. So Heather's is pretty set up now, so you can go check her out at www.ourlifesofarblog.com. And then mine will be neverdrinkfrommommiescup.com. It is not set up today. I just started the process, so please don't go look at it now because it's going to be really ugly. But you can still find us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Stumble,
Facebook,
what else?
Instagram, Twitter,
Pinterest,
yes.
Google Plus. Does anyone use Google Plus? Google Plus.
I don't even know. I think that's on my phone, but I'm just like, what are you?
I had to set up when I did the campaign. I had to set up, and there's actually quite a bit of cool stuff over there. So
it's also
eyes at me.
overwhelming. I twit now. Aren't you happy? And I'm pretty rocking at
you
it.
You are rocking it.
I was surprised. I like literally sitting here just now. Look, I have whatever twits. I won't say the
tweets.
Other word, twits. Yeah.
Tweets.
Twits.
Go with tweets.
I just coined a new phrase. It's a twote. It's a Twitter quote.
Yeah, that's a great one. I'm just proud that you signed up and you're doing it. So,
I am.
Because that was tooth and nail with you.
I'd had it one time before and I hated it.
Right.
I freaking hate it. I'm a visual person. That's why I love Instagram. So all that sea of words on Twitter, just ugh.
But you do it. I think you deep down you.
But I learned how to put my own damn graphic in there,
right.
so I will make it prettier. But yeah, so yeah. Yeah.
All right. Is that it?
I think that's it. I think that's it. Share.
Yes.
So if you get on our Facebook page, share with your friends. We could use some love.
Right.
Some Facebook love. So I think that's it.
All right.
Yep.
I will talk to you later then.
Bye, guys.
Bye.